first, you will.
Yeah.
Just like England. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Advanced
Weekly Update.
Weekly Update. Friends, I hope you're doing well out there. Last week, we practiced saying hi in English, and we didn't just say hi. We learned different words. We learned sup last time.
Sup.
S-U-P. What's another way of saying hi?
Or a longer form of that is what's up.
What's up? Yeah, it's kind of like WhatsApp. There's
There's
that
that
WhatsApp that is making a
But
pun.
what's up came first.
Yeah, probably. I have another one for you. Howdy. H-O-W-D-Y. Now, it's not as common, and it is a specific word for the southern United States.
Or maybe Texas especially.
It's kind of a Texas
Yes.
thing. It's a cowboy way of saying hi. Let's say howdy. And howdy is also short, like sup, for how do you do? How are you? Ni hao ma. Like it's the same thing.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, and I think I'm right on this. I could be wrong, but howdy.
That makes sense, though.
How do ye? How do you do? But cowboys say howdy. So maybe you can say howdy if you're out there
in Texas.
Yeah. Today, though, we're not in Texas. We are across the big pond. And if you say someone is from across the big pond, what does that mean?
Well, that is in relation to America versus the United Kingdom. We say across the pond because there is the ocean there that separates the two. And it's a little further than you may think, but it's relatively close compared to other countries.
Yeah, don't swim it. I think a few people flew across it back in the early 1900s. And today we're talking about a lady who had a lot to do with that special country across the big pond, the United Kingdom. Her name was Queen Elizabeth II. Her real name, though, is Elizabeth Alexandra Mary. And our article on the February 13th for Valentine's Day, tomorrow, is all about the Queen.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the Queen died last year?
She died in September.
Okay, yeah.
September 8th.
Yeah.
Right? That's what our article says, September 8th.
So our article is celebrating her life, thinking about her and her relationship to her husband, King Philip, and a little bit about the drama around their marriage. He was the prince of another country. Actually, he somehow was the prince of two other countries, Greece and Denmark. And when Elizabeth, the princess and the heir to the throne, when she started dating this prince, it caused a lot of drama for the identity of England. You can read more about it in our advanced article.
If you follow the royal family, you see there's always, there's drama around that because there's lots of tabloids and that sort of thing following them. And so that's hard for them, living that kind of life.
Yeah.
You are in the spotlight basically all the time, which is very difficult.
It's hard being a ruler. Have you seen any of the shows about the royal family? The Crown or...
I've watched a few minutes of The Crown, so not enough to really give an opinion on it, but that's a very famous show on Netflix. Maybe some of you have seen that. If you have, and you have any recommendations with regards to that, let us know. Always looking for new shows to watch, but that does kind of detail the royal family, their lives. How about you?
I have not. I read the headlines a lot, so I have read a lot about the family themselves in the news recently.
You wrote this article.
And I wrote this article.
Research with that, right?
Yeah, it was fun looking at her life and the history of England. As you know, we're Americans, and the American national identity has a lot to do with its early relationship with the crown. The crown is a way of talking about the kings and queens. You can just say the crown as a nickname. So America had a revolutionary war in the year 1776. They declared independence from Great Britain. You might know some of this. And they became a country without kings, but instead started having presidents. And the whole revolution was around basically the right to have representation. So we have a government in the United States that's called a representative government. You elect people and then they become your leaders, like a lot of other countries, especially democracies. But we're still interested in kings and queens in the United States. We think about them a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of fascination, I think, in the U.S. With the royal family specifically in the United Kingdom. I think it's because of the relationship there. It's interesting because it wasn't, for many years it wasn't close because we broke away and there was a war. But now, actually, I feel like there's more of a closeness in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting. And I've been to England a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating place to visit. So much history, like coming from the U.S., you see some like older buildings, you think that's old, you go to Europe and you see what old really is and like historical. And so that was a fun thing.
Yeah. There is a lot to think about at this age of kings. Let's go to our poll question though, really quick. Let's talk more about kings and queens or rulers. I want to hear your feedback. When you think about a ruler, which of these 4 qualities here is the most important for a ruler to have? I want to think in English together. What makes a good ruler? Because we all know there are good kings and bad kings, right? But we've got 4 here, and they're not the only 4 qualities. But military power, honesty, service to the people, or intelligence. If you had to pick one for a king or queen to be really good at, which of these would you pick? I'm curious to know. We also have a discussion question while we answer this poll question. Who in history do you think of as a good ruler? They could be a ruler from any country, any period of time, but they could be a king or queen of England, maybe like Queen Elizabeth, but who is a role model? Do you think of any kings or queens as being really good rulers or presidents?
Well, yeah. So if you open it up to presidents, I can think more specifically. I mean, I learned a lot about Queen Elizabeth II from this article that we did and the research that was done and looking over all of that. And so I'm fascinated with like how she led and how consistent she was doing that. And so I think a lot of people, most people obviously look up to her for that. But with regards to presidents, I really think in the U.S. in more recent history, probably Ronald Reagan, I think, was an excellent leader, had really positive leadership qualities and led the U.S. Through some maybe difficult times, but also led them to a better place. So I think of those 2, I guess, off the top of my mind.
President Ronald Reagan, you can remember his name because he has 2 R's. He was actually a Hollywood actor before he became a president. So he did a lot of different things as a president. I saw one of his movies called This Is the Army, Mr. Brown.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't mean to get distracted by that, but if you want to see a U.S. president playing a soldier in an old black and white movie, This Is the Army, Mr. Brown. Interesting piece of American history there. Now we're getting answers from our poll question. This is interesting. Nobody has said military power is the most important quality. It can be helpful, but instead we're split 3 ways. Honesty, service to the people, and intelligence. Wow, all of those are very important. Which I'm split between honesty and service to the people.
So am I. And I want to roll those up together. I think in your service to the people, you should be honest. Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah. Well, okay, you're a new parent. I'm a pretty new parent. And I always think about being honest with your kids. You know, I was really convicted the other day as the dad of the family. It's easy to fall into the wrong kind of like ruler mindset, I think. To be the kind of ruler that just makes sure that everybody does what I think and what I want.
Like authoritarian type of ruling. Like you're forcing people to do it. Maybe you don't give much explanation.
Yeah, that's a good word. Authoritarian. Just what I say is the rule. Versus a servant father to the family. You know, someone that still makes decisions and
like you're
helps.
Leading in a loving way.
Yeah, in a way that's like motivated by serving others. And I heard a pastor say one time, you can't live higher than your motivation. Like whatever your reason for doing things is, that is going to affect your whole life. So a person who's motivated by power might be in the same position as a person that's motivated by love and service for others. But the person that's motivated by love will have a totally different outcome in their life. So that's something really we're thinking about. Hi, Totolochi. You have the most amazing name. Nice. Howdy to you two. Howdy, partner. And good job. Sophie, you said in order to pay tribute to Queen Elizabeth, you visited Windsor Castle last October. Amazing.
Wow.
1 month after her death. Wow. I was all tears looking at the slab with her name.
I've been there as well. It's a fantastic place to visit. But how special it is for you, Sophie, to visit just after her passing, and like that has all been in the news and fresh in your mind. And so I'm sure that was a special experience.
Yeah, that's amazing. And now, is she buried in Windsor Castle? Help us out. I'm actually not sure where her grave
I think maybe
is.
so. I think so. I don't know, Sophie.
Okay. Sophie will know. Sophie, thanks for sharing. And there is something about rest at the end of a long life that's lived for others.
Yeah.
So that's amazing, Sophie. Good job traveling. Did you use the English that you've been learning on Advance?
I think so. Your English is fantastic. So I'm intrigued. Did you have a British accent, though?
Yeah. Well, friends, it's the end of our live stream. Before we go, because I used to be doing work in vocal dialects and an actor, if you want to sound more British versus sounding more American, here's an easy tip for you. Americans, we often speak in a monotone way. We don't have tones like in Chinese.
Saying we're boring?
Yes, compared to British people. But not necessarily. But Americans often speak with one tone, and we make all our vowels kind of a U sound. You could say, I went to the store. So if you kind of want to sound more American, just make all your vowels U's. Now, be careful with that. No,
back a little bit.
But just to get an idea. But for British people, they tend to use their pitch much higher and lower. So I'm not really doing an accent, but I'm just making my pitch go up and down. Wow. And I already sound a lot more British, don't I?
That's true.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right, that's your tip for today, Sophie. Next time you go visit England, it looks like honesty and service to the people. Time.
All
and
right.
Hopefully those two go together.
Good qualities.
All right, friends. Well, it's been great to see you. Yen, hi there.
Thank you, Yen.
We hope to see you guys next week. I think you guys are probably subscribed, but get your grandma and your friends to subscribe.
Subscribe
as well.
And also become a member. $1.99 a month.
If you want more content, we have a lot more.
We have our radio programs that you can get, so for extra content. So be sure to check that out.
You're on some of those. I'm on some of those
too.
You are
as well. Yes.
Talking about the Queen.
You're probably on this one.
I think I am with Doris Brom. Peng Meng Hui.
We say probably because we recorded it a little while ago. But anyway, you can listen to it. And happy Valentine's Day. Be sure to check out the little blurb in here about the marriage between Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, and we hope you have a happy Valentine's Day, if that is something you're celebrating tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't forget, get some flowers, chocolate.
I learned this heart thing. I like this for photos.
Yes.
All right, bye guys. We'll see you. We love you, and have a good one. Keep practicing your English.
Bye.
It's convenient. It's this one is like more work.
That's true.